How's it going, everyone? It's cloudchief, and in today's video I'm talking about the Unity NM Orcfeltrap. Orcfeltrap is a flytrap NM, and it is the high-level equivalent of Orctrap. You can pop him at Carpenter's landing at these three locations. Don't try and follow the position that's listed in the listings, as it is not accurate, and I spent way too long trying to run around and find all the pop points, considering this information is incorrect. You can get all three pop points from the same warp point. So if you go talk to one of the Unity NPCs and warp to Carpenter's Landing for 119, it'll put you in the place where all you got to do is finish going through the tunnel, and then all three spawns are somewhere out in the open. You can refer to this map for where it is. As for drops, it drops an Obi, which is kind of meh. The big thing about the Obi is that it has, increased MP when resting, but nowadays, if you're geared right, you shouldn't really ever be resting as a mage. There are plenty of ways to get MP back, and you really don't ever need to rest. So I don't really see much point in the Obi. And then he also drops a katana. The katana is actually a pretty decent katana. I could see someone getting use out of this if they are playing ninja and they are just starting out. There are, of course, much better katanas, but this is a pretty decent one to start out with. I wouldn't be upset by using it if it was a fresh ninja for me. So I only ever saw this NM do 3 different TP moves. It does Pasty Pollen, which will inflict paralyze to whoever he does it. He has Gliosuchus, which is a frontal conal, but it seems to be a larger conal than your typical moves, that does damage and will slow whoever it hits, and it's a pretty severe slow, and even overwrites haste too. And then there is the most annoying TP move he does, Sephoric, which is a very large AoE sleep move, and it kind of works like Nightmare. So if you get slept, you can get woken up by taking damage, but there is a very low chance of you being woken up when you're taking damage. You're very likely to just keep getting hit by the NM and still be slept. And so the sleep is the most difficult and hardest part of this fight, because he's going to be pretty consistently sleeping your whole party, which can get quite annoying to deal with. I was able to take him out in 117 gear, so Sparks gear, and using a bailed weapon on Dragoon with only ever using Pentathrust. Not using any JAs, never summoning my Wyvern. I was able to take him out, so pretty low level of skill being applied, and was able to take him out. But it was still a very annoying and frustrating fight, and I could see myself doing that fight over and over and over again with the exact same setup, and maybe only having a 70% win rate. But again, that is at item level 118 as opposed to 19, as opposed to being geared well and playing well. In terms of trust, I highly recommend having 2 tanks, because in case one happens to go down, not to mention when he does the sleep move, he tends to reset hate on whoever he had hate on at the moment. So he will be bouncing around who has hate, so having multiple tanks will make it easier. Having Jokum, I think, is really good, because he actually puts up Regen Song, which will help, keep you alive when everyone slept and people are getting hit. That way they're constantly getting HP back, even if the healer is slept. Plus Jokum will help heal, where Almia will not. So I think they are a much stronger trust than Almia for this particular fight. I really liked Kupipi for this fight, because she really did focus on getting that paralyze off and getting slow off. I could see using a Puru or Orin as opposed to Kupipi if you have them, but if you don't happen to have those Unity leaders, using Kupipi is a really good option. And also having Koromoro, so that way he is making sure that your white mage is, getting MP back. That way he's putting refresh on them, and Koromoro will help heal also, which is definitely a benefit for this fight. I did really want to talk about my trust setup, because when I did it as other setups, I was not getting anywhere near the results I was getting with this. I also really like Gesho, even though he seemed to struggle keeping shadows up, which I don't blame him. They're probably constantly being stripped by the AoE moves, plus keeping slow. That's going to make your shadow timers just really bad. But he would still pull hate, and his Warcry move that he does that lasts 3 minutes is really nice and helped out with the fight. So all in all for this fight, it is not a difficult fight, but it can be annoying, and he can just literally, you know, bring your damage in your party to a halt with his, sleep and slow moves, making it quite difficult. I highly recommend, if you can for yourself, having a damage taken set, so that way when you get slept, you can slap that on. That way you're taking the least amount of damage possible, which is going to help you, sustain and survive longer. And then just trying to do the maximum amount of damage to push him down is really going to give you the best results. It's, like I said, not an easy fight, but it's also not a difficult fight. But if it's not done right, I can see people really struggling with this NM. I think if you use a very similar trust setup, you probably won't have too much difficulty. And that's about it for Orcfeltrap. Not too bad of an NM, but it can be quite annoying with the sleeps and everything. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of it. And as always, may you have success in all you do.